If you go to Mary, if you go down to the microphone in the bottom left corner, click on the little arrow and switch to phone audio. It'll give you some phone numbers to call into. All right, calling to order. We'll start this meeting. Can I get a second?
I so move.
Let's do it. We're going to approve today's agenda and minutes from 9/19. Are we going to show that agenda, or
It's up.
that's the new agenda? But it says
Yes, sir.
minutes from. Are we showing the minutes from 9/19?
No, they're audio. They're
Okay.
recorded.
Okay.
But
So if you want to
you-
go back and look at our previous months, you can go back to September 19th and look at our archive.
It's on the blog. You can get to it on our homepage
Thanks, Mike.
Sorry. Yes, it is printed too. We have a printed version.
and printed too.
Okay. And before we go to Amy Heath's treasury report, I just wanted to, since Steven's new here, he doesn't really know all of us. I'm Mark. I'm president of TBUFC and Urban Forestry in the city of Plano. Susan, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Susan Henson, Vice President of Trinity Blackland Urban Forestry Council, and I'm retired.
Yeah,
Great to meet you.
of the back work. Mike?
I'm Michael Levy. I'm with City of Grand Prairie at the Summit Active Adult Center, and I serve as secretary as well as anything technical with our organization. I handle website and any communications.
He is our only paid employee at TBUFC.
Right on. Great.
Mike Sills?
Yeah, Urban Forester, Texas Forest Service, Texas A&M Forest Service, Dallas region.
All right. Steve Hauser?
I'm a certified arborist, consulting arborist in the area, and general pain in the neck for all the builders and developers in the area too.
That's great.
Climbing
Mike,
judge.
yeah, Steve's very humble. He was instrumental in getting the city of Dallas urban forestry started. So he's got a lot of history.
Amazing.
Gene?
Gene Gehring. I am the executive director for ISA Texas.
Great. Great to meet you.
Marion?
Marion Lineberry, and I'm a volunteer.
Awesome.
And then Amy?
Unmuting. Okay. Hi, I'm Amy Heath, treasurer of TBUFC and owner of the Tree Surgeons.
Awesome. Great to meet you, Amy.
And then Corin?
You too, also an East Dallas person.
Cool. Yes.
And then lastly, Corin or Corrine?
Hi, my name is Corinne Buckley. I'm with the North Central Texas Council of Governments. We're doing some work with urban forestry, and this is the first meeting I've been able to attend, so I'm just kind of listening in and learning. So
Great. Me and you both. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
So
Good to have you, Corinne.
everybody being here. Amy, do you want to do the Treasury's report update, please?
Yes, we are holding steady. Report is the same from last time of the financials because I haven't updated them. Taxes are being processed by the 15th of November. Profits, and I do know the credit card. Does anyone have it?
I think you were kind of breaking up
Mike
a little bit.
Sills?
I don't know where the credit card is.
Mike Sills, you were the last person to get it from the tree surgeon's office.
Mark, I gave that card to you.
Yeah, I gave it to Amy. Amy, I'm pretty sure I dropped it off at your office at your desk, at the front desk when you walk in.
With Shannon. Okay, I will find the credit card.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I dropped it off there on my way home. So that was
Okay.
a month ago.
Okay, I'm gonna find that as the treasurer. I will be in charge of that. And then I I do not understand what's going on with the PepsiCo funds. Like, are we supposed to prepay them? Are we supposed to get the PepsiCo funds prior to payment? Who has that information, or who do I talk to about getting that information?
That would come from Mac.
Preston,
Go ahead, Susan.
That information would come from Mac. You can call him directly. He was gonna send you some information on paying for the PepsiCo bathrooms. They needed like the credit card number and our address. But everything was being paid through a PO, so I don't know about the actual funds when they're disseminated. So that would be a direct question to Mac. I would.
Preston's handling it. I'm fixing to forward you the email, Amy.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Are we sure that the grant will cover bathrooms, or does it only
Yes.
cover? Okay,
It's a $10,000 grant, and that's gonna cover the trees, the portalet. I can't remember, Susan, is PepsiCo paying for food, or are we paying for food out of that
That
budget?
comes out of there too.
Out of there too. And then we're supposed to be able to have $1,000 out of that 10, I think, for our work on this project. We're basically the middleman, like what a lot of what nonprofits do. They become the middleman between projects. So it's a way for us to bring in money and also get some good information out there. Is that all you got, Amy?
that's what I got.
Thank you, Amy. New business, we have the board retreat. We talked about it yesterday. Susan and myself and Amy. Amy is offering up one of her locations for us to do this. And we will be sending out a survey soon to see a good date and time for everybody. It's always hard to do. But we'll offer several dates and hopefully we can all be there together. The TFS giveaway, Mike Sills, we will be there together on Saturday. Do you have any updates on that?
Okay, yeah. Update is, I haven't heard back from the fire people as far as when I'm, what how these things are gonna be delivered. Susan mentioned before the call that she thought that they were gonna be delivered right to the center. That was my impression a couple of months ago when they mentioned it. These people are supposed to reach out to me. I'm talking about the fire side of TFS, and they're supposed to reach out to me and let me know. But they have not. So I'm going to wait till tomorrow. And if I haven't heard anything, I'm gonna make some phone calls or just show up at their doorstep in McGregor and say, what the hell?
Mike, just fly your plane out there, man. You just fly your plane and fly it back and just go pick them up.
Well, for 100 little trees like that,
You know?
like looks like they're minute,
I'll be volunteering with Mike on Saturday. My son's going as well. He's applying for college and I need to get him more volunteer hours. So it's a win-win for everybody. I'll be making the signage too, Mike. So like we said, we have got 50 trees, so we're gonna put some signs up. And outside of me and Mike and my son, Mike, are we gonna have anybody else out there or?
Ryan Edmonton.
Okay.
He's a forester for the water side of TFS. And he's housed in that bigger building there at the center. He's committed to being out there. I told if he's not there at 8 o'clock, I'll call him and let him know that the trees are there because we were I think it was Monday. We made some calls to Kate, and she was like, well, you guys made the time. And I was like, well, you put us in a box, so you kind of made us, held us up.
You're
held
getting
us over a
100, it's 100 Red Oak and Borough.
I heard Shumard Oak.
Well, yeah, excuse me, Shumard, Red Oak and Burr Oak.
Okay,
Do we have a social post or something? I could push it out through like my social media department. How do people know this is happening?
I gave it to Michael Levy.
Yeah, and I'll have that up today.
And
Send it to Amy.
and
too.
then the other avenue is we're gonna put the sign out on the street, on that busy street.
yep. Free trees. Should get people to come. Free anything. Good.
Yeah.
So
Oh, isn't
thank
it?
you, Mike, for your support on getting that out, and Amy as well. I think it'll go well, it'll go pretty quick. I don't know that the trees will last that long. When people see signs for trees and hear about them, the word spreads and they go
Especially
quick.
on Coit Road.
Yeah. Well, I wish there was a way we could kind of track where they're going. Maybe we can ask people for their address, but Mike and I'll figure that out. All right. So anything else on that, Mike?
No,
Okay, let's move on to old business. The annual membership meeting that we had talked about, the date that we have set for that. Is this the same thing as the board meeting, Susan?
Yes. It's
Okay.
a membership meeting. It's when we have dinner or lunch.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we did that somewhere in Richardson last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's when you do your board election.
And we'll do our board election. So if you're interested in serving on the board too, let us know. We do have one vacant board position. And it's open. Is it the social media one, Susan?
No,
No?
I mean, yes, it's assisting Miss Mary.
Okay, she's doing that, that's right. So just one open board position. Okay, moving on to board resignation.
So you did that.
Yeah. So is that how it works for me? Or Susan, I do it for 1 year and then someone else becomes president? So 1 year. term?
Yes, we have we have 2-year terms, I believe.
Okay. So, I mean, I see my name in resignation. Am I resigning or am I gonna stay as president? Or do we vote on that?
Oh, I don't know what. No, darling, we had a board resignation
Oh,
and
okay.
you're talking about it.
I know, I was just messing. Okay.
Give me a hard time.
All
You're
right, all
still
right.
doing the agendas.
I know, I'm horrible at that. But yeah, we do have an open spot for that. The TFS grant, Susan and I have been attending those meetings. Originally, I think the grant was for $25,000 and went down to 10. But it looks like Karen Woodard and Preston Williams are working together to get that done. It's going to be on November 1st. They have a lot of trees going in. I think it's close to 400 or 500 trees, Susan.
Yes, 540, I think.
Yeah. And they're pretty small, but those will be going in near the Trinity River. And if you can make it out, I can't make it out that day. I've got my own Arbor Day event. But if you can make it out and you want to volunteer and support TBUFC, please let Susan or me or someone from the board know that
I'll be there and Mike will be there.
so just
So,
let us know.
they need help with dissemination of tools and
Yeah.
signing people in and got to train them on how to plant and
And that event is from 8 o'clock to what time?
8 to 12.
8 to 12. So they would need help at setup, most likely at 7, lay out all the tools.
Trees are delivered at 7. We're going to gather on site about 6:30, and so volunteer about 7:30.
Okay. Well, we're happy to help on that.
How
what-
many volunteers do we need? I can send some Smurfs.
4 or 5.
Okay.
was that the Green Futures planting at Trinity Forest?
Yes.
I had 6:45 show up time.
Yeah, 6:45, 6:40.
Yeah, just,
Okay. Sorry, I thought you said 7 something. Sorry about that.
so we're
Yeah.
good on that. So
Volunteers.
everything's good on that. We'll find out about the payments and all that and when the money's coming in through MAC. Thanks, Mike, for taking care of that. We're gonna move on to the big items now, the bilingual workshop. For those of you who don't know, we had our first ever bilingual workshop last year. We had, I believe, around 130 people show up to that. It was really fantastic. Amy is also working with ISA and Gene on a new technology that does live translation through your phone, and you can hear an audio in a different language. And so I'm not sure if that is something that is going to be available for us. I know they did it at the ISA conference, but if it is, it's something that I think that we would be interested in using. But it's a really big hit. That event got a lot of people out there. We've confirmed the date, which is February 18th. And we're gonna do it in 3 different cities. So it'll be here on the 18th. It's gonna go to San Antonio on the 20th, and then Houston on the 22nd. This is part of one of the things that we've been talking about doing is when we're doing a workshop, trying to spread it through Texas, being efficient, and then just spreading that education all throughout Texas. So really looking forward to that one again. Does anyone have anything on the bilingual workshop to add?
Just that we have Dr. Ball confirmed for San Antonio and Houston, and we have Eduardo Medina here in DFW. We're excited.
Susan, are the other cities responsible for finding some additional speakers, or are the speakers also going to the
We're
other?
going to have a meeting on that and decide all that.
Okay,
That
great.
would be a group decision.
Okay. And I think last year we charged $100 a person. I think that worked out really good. We always have really good food. And Gene, thank you for supporting us on that. You've been supporting us on all these workshops, so we appreciate the help.
Michael or Susan is now Michael. I like that. So when is that meeting, and when do you think you will have agendas finalized?
Probably next week. I'm trying to get everybody together.
That's good. Somebody needs to push that.
Amen.
Yeah,
have
we can get this
dates
posted up on ISA, even
Huh?
if it's to be determined agenda.
But those speakers are confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
With it being the 18th, having registration up preferably before Christmas, but right after the first of the year, which means that we need the agendas and all.
We want something before that. If we can't get everybody else to play, at least we'll put in our subject.
Gene, we want to post it up before the 15th of November. I've already confirmed with the Texas A&M Agri-Life water building that there is availability for all of our dates. So I'm going to get those confirmed.
All right.
Get those.
Like I said, to be able to get it up, really it's the location and the agenda.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you got the agenda nailed down, then we're good. If
Gotcha.
you're waiting on San Antonio or SAAA,
No, we will not.
then yeah, they are notoriously on San Antonio time.
Right. And I just have to get the meeting together. I was going to do that. We met yesterday as a board, executive board.
Okay.
So
But yeah, no, as soon as you get that to me, I can get that up and we can start advertising it. So
Thank you, Gene. Hey, I have one question for you. As far as posting this on the ISA Texas website, does it make more sense to have these 3 separate dates as 3 separate events, or are they
Yes.
all going to be lumped together?
if y'all's is ready to go, and it's a different agenda, which it sounds like it is because y'all have Eduardo Medina, then yeah, it will be a separate registration and a separate date.
I think it's a good idea to kind of keep them separate so we can track our costs and stuff individually from cities.
Yes.
So great.
And when it comes to San Antonio's and Houston's, who's the contact in Houston?
so far, I talked to Mickey and sent him an agenda from previous,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't at conference, but I talked to
Matt Weaver?
Yes, and he said they were in. Then I talked to him last week and he said, I just need to talk to Mickey. And I told him what they needed, basically, and
Okay,
broke it down easy for them. And I think they're at least on for safety. I know for sure. Their
okay,
concern is cost, just like us.
yes.
And I said, well, we're trying to keep cost to a minimum. And remember, if you do 3 sites, of course, that particular one, it'll just be broken up in half.
Right.
Yeah.
And John Ball is relatively inexpensive for considering.
He is?
Yeah, he does not charge what he's worth.
Okay.
It would cost him more to get Todd Watson to drive the hour down than what it's going to cost him to get John Ball.
Okay, good to know.
Unless, since
yeah.
he's like retired or right at that retirement, he might be going up on his rates simply to get people to quit asking him to speak.
Right. Yep. Well, if you charge more, people think you're, you got more important things to say.
Exactly.
If you don't charge,
So I'll
anything,
set
nobody
that meeting up and I'll send you an invite too, Gene.
Okay, thank you.
Mike has his hand up. Mike,
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to Gene's comment earlier. Gene, Dallas region, we have the best people on our council and only the best.
right.
We are on top. They are on top of it. 100%.
I didn't mean to have anything negative about y'all at all. Just San Antonio, it seems like the whole island time thing fits
Right.
San Antonio. It's like
Maybe when we call them, we'll be drinking pina coladas.
Hey, I just want to know, how do you get a city to pass an ordinance that say people that work in your city have to have CEUs, safety CEUs?
I am impressed by that.
And you know how they did it? They went to council and had the facts and figures and showed them that when they had safety, their homeowners insurance rates came down.
Okay.
People working on their property had these safety CEUs. So that's how we approach it.
Okay. I just realized this was Amy's workshop. Amy, I'm sorry to have taken over your workshop. Did you want to comment on anything?
No, y'all are rocking it.
Okay. All right, on to the worker climber training. Like we said, we met yesterday. We talked with, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Dustin Goodman.
Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin, who won the Texas Tree Climbing Championship the previous year. He does aerial lift rescue training. And so he's very interested in coming out here. We were thinking about earlier about doing a 3-city thing, but I think we backed off of that and said, hey, let's just what we're going to be offering is aerial lift rescue, stop the bleed, and CPR. So all 3 in one training session. It's going to take 2 days. I've heard from a lot of climbers and a lot of foresters that they've had a hard time finding this kind of training. And there's a limit on how many people you can have in these trainings, especially with like stop the bleed. I think it's only 15 that you can have. But we do this in English and in Spanish. And so we're going to be using the Texas A&M AgriLife facility and some trees over at the AgriLife Center. Mike and I talked with the superintendent out there and they were okay with us using their trees. But we're pretty excited about doing this. I don't know that anybody has offered all 3. Gene, you could probably chime in on this. Has anyone ever offered all 3 or did he leave? And there he is.
No, I'm still here. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. And we will definitely assist y'all in promoting that. ISA's or ISAT's biggest issue with doing anything like that has always been insurance.
Okay.
And Yeah, when you start getting people off the ground that you're not paying,
Right.
then the insurance company frowns.
Do we need to meet on the side and discuss that?
Yeah, if the
Yes.
facility is fine with that, yeah, y'all just need to know who's responsible if somebody gets hurt.
Some kind of waiver maybe possibly that's been made from, by Texas A&M saying, hey, you are responsible for your own health and all that kind of jargon.
Jean, who manages the insurance for the climbing comp?
I
And
do.
then you do, so you have those resources. And then Steve Hauser, I know you
And we
have
go
had
through
in
Arbor Risk with that. And
arborist.
yeah. And I will, like this past year, I put in the request like January 2nd. And the Friday before the comp, they finally pushed it through. So yeah, and they deal with they do a number of the different climbing events. One of my goals this coming year is to actually find an insurance company that will cover ISA Texas year round for any event that might get off the ground.
Amy, remember when we talked to Dustin Goodman yesterday? He was giving us the names of some nonprofit groups that would help with some funding for safety trainings.
Through TCIA, they have grants available for this type of funding.
Yes.
That'd be great for the insurance cost. Steve, you get special insurance when you do the training with the kids in the trees, right?
No, it kind of depends. We've done it for Earth Day for many years. And the
Yeah,
Earth Day insurance kind of covered it then. But the early years of the competition, we couldn't get insurance. Like in 86, 7, and 8, we couldn't have a competition because we couldn't get the insurance. And there's a few other years that we couldn't get it as well. So it is a big issue. And that was one of the questions I had for Gene. I did a big document on the history of the competition that we were hoping to get up on the website. And Gene said that they were going to be updating the website fairly soon, I think.
Well, soon is a relative term, yes.
Okay, well, I may send you that document
yeah.
again just as a reminder anyway.
Yes. Yeah, I will check with Megan and see where that stands. All that you'd requested that right in the middle of the conference stuff, so.
Good, thank you.
And yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I can reach out to Arbor Risk and get a quote for that if that's our best resource. And then Jean, my other question was, so if we have 30 people at this class, which I think we could easily fill, then the problem becomes proctors for the test and how long per person do you need for them to do the climbing test?
So you're looking at actually having the tree worker, or not the tree worker, but the certified tree climber test during this event.
Well, my understand because there is no longer a tree worker, right?
Yeah,
there's
that was
only
changed to the certified tree climber.
Yes, so it requires the testing now, right?
Well, the other one did as well, but yes. At the conference on that Wednesday, we held a certified tree climber test. Just the skills portion.
Do you have a waiting list on that?
Well, you got to go through ISA. I mean, you got to set the test up, and then you got to go through ISA. There were 6 people that went through it, and it took 6 hours.
So that's my concern is if we have 30 people ready to take the test, 2 groups of 15, one in English and one in Spanish, is there a possibility for them actually to be tested and become certified? Because there's no reason to take the class.
Our
If-
next time that we're looking at actually having the skills portion of that, because I got to take the written portion as well.
Right.
And every time that we offer a written test, that is one of the options that you can do. Like coming up in a couple of weeks in Fort Worth, there's a test, in-person test for the certified arborist that's set up.
Okay.
But at that same time, if you want to become a municipal specialist or utility specialist or certified tree worker, you can apply and actually do that if you want to do the written part on paper. I'm pretty sure that with the certified tree climber, you can opt to do the online version through a Pearson View. And one of the requirements that we put on the people that signed up for the test at Waco was that they had to have already taken the written part.
It would make more sense for us to have, if we offered anything outside of those 3 trainings, to do the written test, but not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because for most of the people that want to become a certified tree climber, it's not the skills portion that's the problem. If it is, it's because they don't know the names of the knots that they tie every day.
Right.
It tends to be more the written part, because the actual test is like doing a work climb at comp that isn't hard. I mean, the idea is to show that you can install a line 40 feet up, safely enter the tree, hit, I think it's 3 stations, and come down safely.
Okay.
I mean, it's the actual climbing part of it is not difficult.
Mhm. Yeah, Amy, do you want to have like just a separate meeting possibly with a couple of the people here to just talk about those kind of things?
I think we need to,
Okay.
because
So-
we're gonna have to kind of reformat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
And-
let's
and include
yeah,
Megan
let's
on
put it
that
on the
one,
side and we'll continue talking about it.
Okay.
I think it's good for another conversation, and I'll work with Amy on setting that up.
All right, Mark, and include Megan on that as well,
Okay.
because she handles all this certification stuff. So
Okay.
to set up the testing and all, you'd have to go through her anyway. So if you get her involved early, that would make that easier.
Perfect. Good idea. Thanks, Gene. We'll do that. All right, let's move on to the municipal workshop. This is me and Mike Sills' baby. We started an urban forest master plan workshop. The audience is a little different. You know, all of our audiences are kind of different in all of our workshops. This one's really towards the municipal forester, pertains to urban forest master plans, tree inventories. So, you know, Stephen, if this was something you wanted to come and talk to, come and talk at and talk about your
Sure.
interviews, this is the one that would probably make the most sense for you.
Well,
Right on.
we have Dana Karcher, Matt Grubestich, and Sam Hill confirmed.
Okay.
So we'll definitely reach out to. I'm looking, there you are, Stephen.
Yeah, very cool. Please do.
And this one is gonna be in San Antonio and in Dallas, right? And Houston. So this will hit all 3 cities. So it'll be 1 day, 8 hours, 8 to like 3:30-ish, kind of like 8 to 3:34-ish. But it will be a tour of Texas. You can try a different barbecue in Texas.
That's neat.
But we've got pretty much most of the speakers. I'd like to speak at this too if there's room available. If not, then I'll just forego. We have too many speakers, but it looks like we already have a lot of our speakers ready to go through this. So we'll move on to Shade Keeper training. Susan Henson, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have October 16th will be in-class training. at the Grand Prairie Library at 920 Conover Drive in Grand Prairie. Then December 7th, we're doing shade tree pruning at Epic Central, which is on the corner of Arkansas and 161. And then February 1st, we're doing fruit tree pruning at a Grand Prairie Community Garden, to be determined.
Cool.
There's
And
so many
you-
gardens wanted theirs pruned, but they're having like a little drawing for it.
Okay. For those that don't know what shade keepers are, Susan, can you explain?
It was, we started shade keepers back when Trinity Blacklands first started. And it's the only continuing chapter has been shade makers in Grand Prairie. And so what we do with our shade keeper training is we will tailor it to each community's needs. And we take our travel on the road.
Yeah. And that really is Susan's baby. She's been managing that the whole time. So
Very cool.
thank you, Susan. You know, my son is graduating this year, so my Saturdays are going to start becoming freer. So
Yay.
I'm looking at that fruit tree pruning and garnering a lot of interest.
That'd be fun.
I love pruning. It's like my stress relief at work, just going out and pruning trees.
I just tell them when we start, you don't do this to shade trees. Okay?
Well, you're gonna have to teach me.
Okay.
Saluting branches. Who's here? No one else is here. I can't remember the name of the cemetery, Susan.
We were at the Boulevard Homecoming Cemetery in Dallas.
And every year we pick a cemetery. So far it's been in the Dallas because City of Dallas and Amy's group has offered help at a cemetery that has veterans and do tree work that has been needed for a long time. And so every year we're looking for new places. There are always challenges, you know, if we have people that want to volunteer some of their time, their business time with their employees to move out of Dallas, we can do that. But I think that the plan is to stay again downtown Dallas because there's a lot of privet, which is an invasive Chinese privet, which is an invasive plant. So I think we'll be working out there again next year. But then the year after, we'll be looking to move to a different location. But that whole thing was great. We had a lot of people out there, lunch, raffles. We thanked our everyone that participated in that. So thank you for everybody for that. EAB and additional assistance in urban forestry. Blake, Wynn, and Preston. They're both not here. Does anybody have any information on this?
Really just that this planting down at Trinity River, they're going to be passing out, they have free trees to give out, and they're also going to give out don't move the wood stickers with the trees. So, you know, emphasis on not moving the wood so you don't spread EAB, etc. So everything they're doing, and the next day they're giving out 2,500 seedlings for Arbor Day, and they're doing the same thing.
Perfect. Can someone give me a sticker? Does anybody else want a sticker? Stop moving the wood sticker.
I'll get some stickers.
Get some stickers. All right. Michael Levy, you're up next on the web.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon, everyone. And right now, we are over the last month have rolled out a brand new website. It's been pretty exciting. I think it's helping us keep our information a lot more concise. And it looks like I think the Zoom link is finally working just like it should. Because I know we were having some issues getting people on. So I'm really thrilled that I think we've got all that working. But right now I'm getting a bunch of different articles and things from various board and fellow folks, and just getting that stuff posted for your reading entertainment, as well as making sure that the agendas and minutes and all that are being recorded, you know, and also found very easily for everybody to access. So so far, I've been really working on that and getting things cleaned up. Thrilled of how everything's starting to turn out. I hope everybody if they haven't had a chance to take a look at the new website, it really has, I think it has really grown to where we can expand in the future and build a foundation and be able to grow from there. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I know it's been fun to work on and getting things ready to go. But yeah, any feedback that y'all have, please send my way. Love to, definitely going to continue adding more content when we can. And also too, we also, with all of the different events that we've got, also need to probably have a little bit more verbiage on about what those events are about. And I have created pages as well as our partner pages with all the different groups that have partnered with and sponsored. And we are just continuing to grow and moving in a great direction. But your feedback's important in this process. So if you take a look at the website and see things that you think we can improve on, then hey, I'll love to hear about it, because we're between myself and Mary. Mary's, really, she'll be talking a bit about Facebook, but we are just continuing to get our communications up and going, and really thrilled about where we are. But a lot more to continue. And again, your feedback's crucial in this process. But as of right now, that's what I've got so far, and look forward to sharing more soon. Mr. President.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. Mike is a machine that works in the background. So thanks for all the things you do, Mike.
Sure.
All I can say is every time I go to the website, I find something new. And I was talking to Michael and I needed to find something. He said, well, just put it in the search bar. So like any of the articles that I've sent him, I could just, if I was looking for a certain item out of it, I could just put it in the search bar and it would pop up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a good point, Susan. I do have on the blog part of where all the articles are. I also have a word cloud where you can, a lot of the common words that you'll want to find, like forest or trees. You can search by the tag of those, and it'll bring all the posts that are related to that particular topic or tag. And so you'll be able to find articles a little quicker that way as well. So we're continuing to improve on that, but as much things I can do to hone in on keywords that people might be finding, then you'll be able to find it on the search cloud. It's on the sidebar of the blog, and again, it continues to update every time we have more articles come out. But yeah, I appreciate you touching on that, Susan. That was really good.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah, you're doing great. And like I'd like to, like, I was doing searches today on the 3-point cut method and pruning, because I was giving a contractor information on it. And I was like, man, it'd be great if TBUFC showed up when we type those kind of things. So as this thing continues to develop, I think it'd be a good idea to look at some of those things. And, there's already resources out there. We don't even have to reinvent the resources, but we can be like the middleman that kind of just connects them to
Right.
the Texas A&M Forest Service, Mr. Mike Sills, that has a lot of that information.
Yeah.
And just kind of connect it all together. So I think that's
absolutely
great. Yeah. A lot of that stuff's already done. It's just getting people to it. So
yeah, just like you said, getting everything connected. I think that's providing folks with resources, at least get them in the right direction. I think that's our big thing.
That's what I do in Plano. I should do more of TBUFC, but I do direct a lot to Texas A&M AgriLive. So it's a step in the right direction.
Definitely.
Yeah. On to social media, Mary Brody and her struggle with Facebook. Tell us about your struggles, Mary.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I literally had to run home and get on the computer so I could, my computers up at work weren't working. My phone didn't work. So I drove home. Anyway, happy to be here. Thank you, Mr. President. The struggles, I really think, kept defaulting back to the fact that I was trying to create a Facebook page that said Trinity Blackland Urban Forestry Council. That word is what kept tricking it into Facebook closing it down within seconds of me creating the page. So I took Susan's information, her idea, and removed the word, and it worked. So it's Trinity Blackland Urban Forestry. It's still live, it's still going. So thank you, Susan.
That's why I make the big bucks.
But I'm doing my best to keep the momentum with the Facebook page. I log on periodically, and as Trinity Blackland Urban Forestry, I'm liking things. I'm commenting on things. It's still very new. I think we have a total of 3 likes so far. So if y'all want to go on Facebook and go like Trinity Blackland Urban Forestry, please do. That'll just help kind of give us a little more push in the right direction. And anytime there's an event, you're more than welcome to send me photos, share them, let me know the location so I can tag the location, put that on Facebook. So that kind of gives us another feeler out there in the Facebook world. Because every time we tag somewhere, share pictures, it just gives us more momentum and more of an audience reach, if that makes sense. And I'm seeing on here where it says platforms available through website, no access to any platform. I'm not really sure what that means, so I can't speak on that, I don't think, on the agenda there.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure.
Oh, platforms available through the website, like what all would we be able to do? Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever they're X, whatever they call it now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, so far it's Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn is one thing I need to work on. We have a big weekend here in Ennis. We have another big weekend next weekend. I'm trying to fit this in between all the events we have going on. And then if you want anything beyond LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, I'll need to research how to do. I have no clue about Twitter. I'm Twitter clueless. And Snapchat clueless. So
Okay, whatever.
It's already like so much further than we were at. We couldn't figure out the passwords for a lot of things, so we're making a generic kind of at TBUFC email login with passwords so that we can control.
yes. And I believe I sent those in an email to you and Susan and Michael, the password and the login information. So y'all have access to it if you ever wanted to get on there and do things. It's available for y'all to access.
Okay.
All right, that's all I got, guys.
Great work, Mary.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So basically the issue with the Facebook page is that we forgot that we don't know the password to the one that had council in the name.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I might do a little looking into that, but that makes sense as an issue.
Yeah, and that email was tied to somebody that I don't know if we know who they were anymore or what the email was to that account. Did we
Got
know
it.
Yeah,
Mary?
and the last posting was in 2019. So now that we have a new page, we can go forward with this one and just it's starting over. But I believe in a matter of months we can get some pretty good momentum going.
Nice. I'll do a little bit of looking. I know some people at Facebook in like their trust department, so maybe they can help, but no promises.
Hey, man, we'll take any help we can get.
Yeah.
It was my understanding that Philip Irwin was the ultimate
Right.
person.
When I reached out to him, he said he didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Pretty good. Okay. But yeah, as far as social media goes, like, do we like, if I'm doing an Arbor Day in the city of Plano, but I am with TBFC and Plano, do we want to?
Yes.
That?
That's the whole idea behind the council is we
All right.
promote you, you promote us.
Okay.
Exactly.
So everybody out here with your businesses or whatever you're doing, just send stuff to Mary and she'll get it on there.
Yeah, and I'm going to be at our Arbor Day, November 2nd here in Ennis, and I'll be there on both the City of Ennis's Facebook page and Trinity Blackland doing, going back and forth with those two entities on Facebook. Yeah, and whatever y'all have for y'all's Texas Arbor Day, send it to me and I'll get those posted.
Thank you, Mary. All right. I know
Thank
we're running
you.
out of time here. We got like 7 minutes to go. Speakers Bureau season.
Just what video and articles are available, and we're working on that to get it up on the web, sir.
Yeah. And I think we should work on getting a lot of the Texas A&M Forest stuff already that's already available.
Yes. We have links for those, I believe. But
That's
we
not-
will check.
Great. Okay, Steve, you're up. Texas Tree Trails update.
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to thank Amy and her staff. Have really been helping us catch up on the champion trees that needed to be remeasured. The last time I communicated, I gave them like 20 trees to look at. There's another 20 or so that were given to other people in the past that were never looked at. So I'm, when they catch up, I'll ask them to do some of those. But I wanted to thank Amy especially for her help. There's a few other people that might not be familiar with the trails. It was established 20-something years ago when there was something that was brand new that we'd never heard of called a website that was being developed. It was the thinking was to develop a site to showcase our most significant trees, our primarily our champion trees, but also our historic trees, to take people on a virtual tour of them. So over the years, our website has developed to where the original website software was quite old. We got by and kind of updated it 4 or 5 years ago. And now there's an effort with a really good group that's volunteering their time to update it. I've been working with them diligently. I've got a meeting with the Paravita folks tomorrow to work on it further. We're at about maybe 50–60% of that website has been developed. So I hope in a few months to come, we'll be ready to launch the new website. One of the things that's throwing us for a loop is there's actual trails on there. One of them is like the Dallas Arboretum, the Fort Worth Botanic Garden are on there. And a lot of the trees that were on the map have passed away. So we're working on a way to where if a tree passes away, we take it off and it reroutes the map to take people on a virtual tour. So I'll spare you the details because I can go on for a while about that. It has been quite an effort, but it will be the newest version of software. It's a WordPress, and so that's coming along quite well. That's most of what I want to say. I was also going to mention Corinne is with the North Texas Council of Governments, right? I think she said.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. I worked a lot with the COG many years ago in developing Vision North Texas. So hopefully you are familiar with that. If not, go to your website, learn about Vision North Texas. It is a very worthwhile effort and something that I really thought was going to make a difference, but probably didn't as much as I'd hoped. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I've worked a lot with COG people over the years. I'm glad you're involved. And the only other question I had for Gene real quick was we were working to develop a second list. The first one was all the history, the early first 20 years of the tree climbing competition history is a big, long document, but we're going to try to get that on the ISAT website. The other thing that I worked diligently on, just spent way too much time on these two, was a listing of preliminary event winners. When you go to our website, you get all who was the champion that year, and that's it. It doesn't list all the people that won a lot of the preliminary events. So I created that document. I've come a long ways, and I was going to ask you, Gene, if you talk to Kirsten, remind her to send me over what she has the last 5 or 10 years of the competition, so we can get that done and get that up on the website.
Okay, that sounds good.
So
Awesome.
thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Steve. TUFC, Texas Urban Forestry Council. We're going to be having a fall, winter-ish meeting in December. It's going to be an in-person meeting. So I'll be attending that. There are a total of 3 councils that are representing the state of Texas right now. We are one of them. The only update I have is that we received some funding from the selling of Texas Trees license plates. They're now sharing that revenue with the council, the 3 councils that are here. Amy, did we ever get a check from them? Amy is doing something else. I'll reach out to Amy on the side. We're running out of time, so I want to try to bust through
I'm
this.
sorry, I lost y'all for a second.
That's okay.
But,
Did we ever get a
yeah.
check from TUFC? The Texas Urban Forestry Council for the license plates?
No,
No? Okay, I'll reach out to her and
we've
ask her about it.
done the paperwork,
I
but
thought-
have not received funding to my knowledge.
Okay,
But I'll double check that.
okay. If you don't mind double checking, and if not, let me know and I'll reach out to the council, okay? Southwest Park and Recreation Training Institute, Susan?
It's February 2nd through the 5th, and they want to know if we want to set up a booth. The cost would be $300.
I think it'd be a good idea to spend $300 to promote our workshops. I think it's a good investment. And do we have to vote on something like that, Susan?
Probably. We can put it out because not of all of our boards here, we don't have enough to vote. Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
So we'll put it out. We'll get together with the board members. We'll put it out there and vote on that. But I
Susan,
think
where
anytime
is the
we,
training this year?
Go ahead.
I just asked Susan where the training is this year.
It's at in Oklahoma, the Southwest Park and Rec
Yeah.
Training Institute
Okay,
at that at the park.
yes.
I've never been to that. Chris has reached out to me about speaking at this event. And I think I'm gonna look at doing that next year. And I think I missed the deadline for it. So if anyone wants to speak at this event, maybe we can get a free booth out of it. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
And we got a booth there, right?
Not yet, Mike. We're trying
Yeah.
to decide.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try to go if we have a booth.
Okay. Good. You got a volunteer already. Thanks, Mike. He's just trying to get out of work.
Oh, he'll work it.
All right, long-term and continued planning, development and implementing tree inventories, management plans. This is Mike Sills. You're up. Mike.
Yeah,
There-
sorry, that button is tricky. Mark and I met with folks over around Lake Louisville, and there's a water plant over there. And we helped them with their trees and showed them how to do a tree inventory using trees count. No offense, Steve. And just trying to help them get an idea of what they're looking at. They had a bid, and we were just gave them some tools to help them in the future. And I was telling Mark that we've got this list of folks that if we're gonna assist them, we need to get on it. Heritage Ranch #4 would probably be the first one. I reached out to them years ago, and haven't talked to them in a while, but if we want to do that, and Mark at the other week felt like he that was something we want to do. So
Yeah.
so yeah, there's that, and those places are still waiting.
Yeah, so what Mike and I did is we basically gave him the tools to be able to do a level 1 tree assessment. Just real light kind of stuff they can do on their own. It was a recommendation from somebody over there that they would have to remove all these trees, and Mike and I just did a quick assessment, kind of showing them what we look at when looking at trees. And it turns out that they could keep most of their trees. And so it was really just someone trying to get money from those guys, and we help give them education on that. And there's a need for that. There's people out there to make money. And there's people out there that want to do, tree care that's not necessarily best management practice. And it's our job to kind of educate these people on the best management practices. So I know Steve had told me at one point that he would refuse to do tree care if he didn't think it was the right thing for the tree. And that
Amen,
really-
brother. If you don't do it right, don't call me, please.
Yeah. So I know we're past it. So next meeting is gonna be 11/21. It's gonna be the week before Thanksgiving. We had to move that meeting up because of Thanksgiving. So, happy holidays over there. Have a good Thanksgiving with family. I've got family coming in from my wife's side from Japan, so we'll be doing an American
Super cool.
Thanksgiving for a Japanese family. And that's all I got. I'm gonna leave it open to everybody. Does anyone want to add anything to the meeting?
I have one quick question on the PepsiCo event. I need to check my calendar, but where could do I just Google that to kind of find information on it, or is it on our webpage somewhere?
Michael?
It will be.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay.
I'll get
Okay.
that
And
stuff
send
out.
that to Amy too.
Yeah, but
And
Michael
send it
said
to
he
Mary.
would-
It needs to go out social media. Excuse
yeah,
me.
Michael said you would have it out today, I think, at some point, right? Today or tomorrow, Mike?
Yeah, I'll get that out today.
Yeah.
Great, I'll
Michael
stand
was-
by.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it. I'll stand by. I'll wait for it to be released.
Mike always sends me emails like at 9:00 PM at night. I'm like, I'm drinking a glass of bourbon right now. What's Mike doing? He's working.
Just getting home from work.
Wow. So thank you, Mike, for everything you do. That's all I got. I motion to,
I've moved that we adjourn the meeting, Mr. President.
I second.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.